somewhere else. Looking at it, Tornado is going towards the poster anyway.
Just like a tornado, it's all about rotations on Miramar. Rotations, rotations, rotations. I don't care if you're Isuba, Penta, a Vengar, or FaZe. If you can't figure out how to rotate on this map, you'll never figure out how to advance to the Pro League. So let's who steps up, figures out their rotations, and takes this one home.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Game number 5 now. Let's head over to Moses and D-Man for all the action.
Guys, it seems we are back to round number 1. Avangard back in home, Penta back on the north in El Azahar. Everybody seems happy with their spots, apart from probably anyone that wants to go maybe Kumasera like Alliance. It's a long drop, but there we should be safe. Picardo is even within reach. Looking down the south, I can see Isuba also going to have a bit of a drift and try and find some vehicles to get all the way over to Valle del Mar, but everybody is relatively happy and safe, apart from Zuktanam. Oh no, they're getting shot already in the skies. 7 and G2 also coming down, but no, it should be okay. Are we seeing something over there? Oh, hello, circle's gone north. Okay, so it's a fairly central northern circle, so nothing too surprising there. But talking, teams that are not having a great performance, obviously Zuktanam, G2, both over on the western side of the map. It have been relatively eastern circles, but it's all about rotations at the moment, and that's kind of what Toffees was just hitting on there. Some of the rotations have been questionable. I was just outside talking to the boys, talking to Crimson, who's obviously been coaching G2 a little bit there, and I was just talking about, I was like, what the heck were they doing? Like, what were they doing down the south? They said, well, the rotation of the thing. I said, no, the circle centered, and then it went over, and it was a hard east shift. So they just literally went west to east. I mean, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to say, if we drive directly that way, we're going to run into teams. It's going to be a fact. And if you look at TSM's rotations, they went way up north. Avangard went even further up north and down the west. You got to look at these situations. Hey, they found the little. I don't. What am I thinking? What's the name of the window? What's the name of a window painting thing?
The plate glass.
Plate glass window. That could be a stained glass window. That's the word I was after. And that's really part of the in-game leader, right? That's where the in-game leader earns his money. You decide.
Well, you can tell.
Read the game.
You can tell.
Plane went that way.
You can tell the teams
came in this way.
Yeah, you can tell the teams that don't have that direction coming from within, and as soon as any level of hard decision making comes on, you'll see people just go prone or get stuck behind a vehicle. In the war movies, you always see the guys when the machine guns opened up. If you're not telling your guys to move out of the harm's way, then you're not doing your job, right? So, as far as the IGL is concerned, it's really about keeping your team on track, making sure that there's no freezing happening, and just making sure that, for instance, Coltastic can perhaps find some loot at some point in the game.
Got nothing there, yeah. I mean, they were a little late, obviously, getting over towards Monte Nuevo. But it's like you need to be effectively, as Martin loves to refer to himself, the encyclopedia of PUBG knowledge. You need to know who you're up against.
Is that what we're calling him?
He likes to call himself that. We've got a lot of names for him, but we can't really air them. You need to know, who you're up against, obviously the teams, where they're going to be dropping, which most people really know, but then where they're going to rotate, so those paths, which sometimes can be an unknown factor, but you can do your research. All of these teams are played with VODs and videos and that sort of research that the in-game leader can do, the coach can do, the analyst can do, to suss out if the circle goes here, they're most likely going to go here. So if you're thinking you want to go there, probably going to meet this team here. And
it's just having some level of map knowledge. You got
to do all that obviously while you're playing the game.
you gotta leave that kind of stuff to analysts. And the one thing that I've heard from a lot of successful teams is they don't really focus too much on what other teams are doing. I mean, they kind of look at what they are, their style, how they play. They don't focus too hard on the game-to-game mistakes, because if you're constantly looking at VODs, looking only at what you did wrong, you get down this rabbit hole of, well, we should have done this, we should have done that.
I don't mean what you did
wrong.
I
know what you're saying. Like,
I mean where teams are going to be, where teams, what compounds are likely to be taken.
Yeah,
if the circle's in this situation, these are the top compounds, and if you're not there by minute dot, then don't go there. Just stuff like that, like base stuff that like...
Yeah, it's more game sense, I think. You don't necessarily need to have constantly someone saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing a vehicle rotate in the 5th phase,
yeah,
you know, across the map. That's just game sense. As we see, a crate has landed. It's
Decent
even got the suppressor with it. No scope, only one mag, but it is got all the fixings there for the Mark 14. Joining in with TSM, they're coming off the back of a victory. They've got a decent position in the center of the zone. Probably not a lot of time to get their loot phase off the ground, but for TSM, it's got to be a major confidence booster to secure a victory within the first 5 games.
Evasive driving. I've not seen too many drops. Oh, here we go. That's why
trying to get away.
Gustav's popping at him. I was going to say I couldn't hear or see any shots, but he was definitely doing some evasive maneuvering, which worked out well for him. Steph's going to get in safe. Down to about half health as well, that vehicle, but all good. Actually, to be fair, Sans Domicile, they've been doing all right. They've been getting, again, they're going center. They've been doing it. They're going center early. 6 minutes 17, you know, they think if they come over from Minas Generales, Exarian Graveyard, that sort of area they've been looting. They have been going central fairly early. And I was just hearing out there, you know, some of them saying,
we need bingo. We need bingo for what we can find from the observer. We've got a chicken, we got a plate glass window, and you know, they're getting stylish on us here, D-Man.
Super way down south. But what do we feel has been working here rotation-wise? Is the central working? Is the late rotates working? Because you think of Avangard, they've been coming in pretty late. TSM pretty late.
Avangard has been doing it right. I think for TSM, they've got the zone this time around, so they're probably gonna. They're not going to have the benefit of having a ton of loot. It's pretty early in the game to have all the extras that you would find if you pick up a couple of kills in the early game. They do have SDF kind of around their territory, so I think if we've seen any consistency from TSM, it's been that kind of lateral split, not too far away from each other. So I think TSM is probably going to want to do something similar. You can see Gustav's found himself a house to call home. Steph is looking his direction. Gustav is harassing transitioning players, specifically SDF. And 7 is in the center of the zone around that San Martin area. So if we're going north or south, that's going to be the deciding factor on what these guys want to do. T-Bone out of the game, unfortunately. That's not going to be good for him. He rolls his vehicle and in flames as Molman grieves beside his down teammate as he picks his corpse.
Grieves on the grave robs. I'm not.
He's like,
sure.
how did this happen to me?
This is my life now.
That's exactly what the face is. Jesus, poor T-Bone. You know, I'm sure he's letting everybody know his frustrations out there. A very vocal player. But Avangard's been doing well. I mean, this is now a situation where they can essentially come in by Oasis if they want to do that northern swing like they have been doing. They have all the time in the world with this northern centered circle.
Well, Zyphon also took some damage. I'm guessing that's 7 that's took a little peek at him, or he's peeked too much. Looks like he's lost his helmet. Not working out too well. That's the problem when you stick your head out against an SKS. It kind of will do that damage.
Man. G2 is, I don't know if anything's been going right for them. We actually, you know, looking down the list as far as the damage is concerned, we do not see a lot coming out of G2 Esports. They've got 1 kill as a squad for a grand total of 1,500 damage. So
second lowest, I believe.
Almost. I mean, they're in the bottom 5 for damage done. They're definitely in the bottom 5 for kills. They have not been having good placements. They're barely even getting knocks for the most part. Whereas on the other side of the equation, you have Penta, who has had a tremendous start. They've got 36 kills with 7,300 damage. Good for about 2,000 more damage than their next closest rival, which is Avangard. So it's been a great start for Penta and TSM. On the back of their victory, they're just under 5K damage as well. So they've been having a real good time. The top 5 teams very clearly establishing dominance in this lobby.
We'll see whether that continues as we are in the 5th and final match for today for Group A. Group B, of course, will follow on. And, of course, we're going to have another 10 games over the next 2 days for both of these groups as well. It's going to be a very busy week of PUBG action. You're not going to want to miss any of it to see exactly who's going to reach the PUBG European League.
Speaking of TSM and Penta.
And a little peek at one another. Okay, trying to get a couple of SKS peeks over towards Gustav. I'm going to be careful because they have a fairly wide spread actually. If he peeks his head too much, you got Turtle way over on the left there along with Wookie Bookie. Who, by the way, I haven't seen rocking the M24 at all so far. There's been a lot of Mini 14 action, which has been a favourite.
Oh my God, another one.
Another
What's his face look
time.
like? Show me his face.
Oh, Asvaran. Disaster for both Alliance
Unforced
and
error.
Avangard. Totally enforced. There's no one anywhere near them up there. That is an unforced death. And meanwhile, Alliance, by the way, and Isuba trading the road, sharing the highway. Michael actually way ahead of them, so could set up some sort of roadblock.
Yep. The old exploding cactus trick.
Yes.
Or maybe perhaps the what happened here?
This is the crime scene investigator on Octiv
He's
checking
like,
out
it's
exactly.
like, ooh, piece of candy. He had a caramel in his pocket.
Evil from Sukdat now. Been a rough start for them, but we shouldn't write off. Like, I mean, the fact is, right, there's 10 more games to go after this one. 11 total, I guess, if you're looking at points total. So no matter, even if anyone having a bad day can turn things around. Just 2 wins, bang, you're straight back up in them points. Can you sort you straight out? Craig drops down.
Please explode.
Magister trying to launch the van. Thankfully, it is a bit of a tank, so should be safe to continue on his journey. Alliance and Isuba still continuing on as we zoom in rather fiercely into the center where we go in San Martin.
I don't know about the, you know what, I have a lot of history talking about this topic, but I'm not 100% sure of this the split from TSM here. They have 3-1, and Rory's all by himself. If he gets pushed, he's going to have a pretty tough time defending himself. I think that based on this next circle, they probably want to collapse if they can. It's a pretty long run to try and get back with Turtle and everybody if you're Rory.
I think we can ignore the TSM is eliminated sign that just came up there. I think it was Gustav that got taken down, right? I think that's what it was trying to say there. Not too sure why it exactly said TSM is eliminated. There are, of course, 16 teams still alive, so please ignore any text you may be seeing.
BM. PUBG's BMing TSM right now.
PUBG, cool. I hear Break had a bit of a reach out to you.
It's like the Pittsburgh. Yeah, I was talking to Break over DM. I was sharing him all the details here.
DM or BM?
Yeah, BM via DM. If I wanted to BM Break, I would just go into his chat and do it directly.
Ooh, Melman just taking a big old hit there. Not to be confused for Moleman, playing for Alliance. Zukdatnam, a team that's certainly been very capable online. I think probably this first LAN event for certainly this lineup at least. Obviously a lot to prove themselves as well as everybody else. Tornado, Conf, well, I think he's gone a little bit too far here. G2 down below him. Don't think you're going to be rescuing that vehicle any time soon. Sans Domicile sending it. They were centering the last time. They've launched it. This is risky. This is the risky play we've talked about so many times. Do you go in San Martin early or late? And they are committing to it.
Yeah, I mean, this is if you get sucked into these towns, getting out of it is really hard because if San Martin it's in the center of the zone, so you're kind of playing the odds. When it comes to PUBG circles, it's kind of like a poker game, but you might get dashed on the river. So if you're in San Martin and you eventually get forced out, trying to leave that city afterwards is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, it basically just becomes a turkey shoot for anyone that's trying to get out of that.
Especially in San Martin, it's high ground all around San Martin. So if you do have to go out, especially south, you're running into trouble there. So live look at the kill points here. Look at that, Chris atop the leaderboard. 224 individual kill points. Penta leading the way, and obviously Tornado Energy Battle featured there prominently after their 22 kill performance, followed thereby a 16th place elimination. So hopefully that turns again, goes back the other way for Tornado Energy Battle, which is surprisingly hard to say in a sentence.
Yeah, it takes a little going. To be fair, the assistant team's not here, so we could just call them Tornado.
Let's do that.
I'm down with that.
Agreed.
Avantgarde, again, taking as wide rotations. They're going over to the north, far over to the eastern side. Just trying to imagine really where teams have possibly come from. They know that it was obviously a hard shift in southeast circle, which does mean the southeast spot is where it's available.
Avantgarde is, I think, probably noticing that. So
that's exactly what I just said.
I'm going to repeat it because it's such a good point. We've seen them do these large swings, and I'm waiting now for a team like Alpachinki or look at this, Set I7 is going to find Avantgarde in rotation. Probably not going to get. Ooh, maybe Snoopy. Do a backflip, evade.
Oh, he nailed it. Nailed it up in the air there. But yeah, taking that rotation. Like I said, because it was a southeast swing.
Yeah.
It seems to me they're looking at the circle shift and thinking,
Where's people not going to be?
It's come from that point.
Yeah.
It's took a hard shift down there. Therefore, there's going to be no one down here because they've all centered.
So what you're saying is Avangard is looking to do a swing south here. D-Man's going to shank me if I'm not careful. So Penta looking down at Fenerbahce Esports, who have had their own issues this first couple of games. And actually, we're now in game number 5. So really, if you're Fenerbahce Esports, you cannot. We're at the halfway points for some of these guys, or nearing the halfway point. You cannot continue to make mistakes because that happens a lot in PUBG where it's early, they've got another game to turn it around. Next thing you know, it's game number 8 out of 10 or something like that, and you're completely out of the running.
And especially if you're a Miramar team, right? You know, obviously some teams do perform better on maps and. After this one, there's only going to be 2 Miramar maps tomorrow, and then we're into Erangel. It's another hard shift. It goes to the far left, but it does encompass San Martin in there. Now, do you commit right now, or do you think, well, it's a far way out?
Get away from there.
Yeah, I think so. I think Jokers are in a great spot. Alliance actually could work out well for them. Power Grid, of course, very much available.
Interesting game.
Zuktanam, plumb center right now.
Yeah, they're looking good. And I this is where I'm interested to see what TSM does. They do have a small foothold in the zone, but they're on the eastern side of San Martin, which means that they are going to form up together, but are they going to try and swing away and out of this town? It looks like Rory's going to make a break right into another team, and there's that answer that we've been waiting for. And this is not going to look good for TSM. On the back of their victory, and it's going to be Wookie Bookie in the grass, I believe, here on
terrific. And they've, well, it's basically maybe wiped them out here. They could be done.
Wookie's left, but I mean, if I'm TSM, I do the northern swing there and go all the way around San Martin as best you can. But I mean, they're basically in the town already. Wookie's going to have to post up in a shack somewhere and just try and play for placement now.
We'll see whether he can crawl it out. It's very early to start having to do that because he's going to try and. To basically, crawl it out as much as you can. You kind of want to be central as early as you can, and he's got a long way to go. Free kill from Isuba launching it in there. Oh dear, Mirado rolling down the hill. And you can see the Jokers, they want a piece of this. Kemba's going looking for it. He decides, screw that, I'm out of here. I'm getting out of that vehicle. It's a ticking time bomb as he tries to run for the hills.
So it's just shot after shot for Isuba, and there he is going to find him. So that's Joker's actually now, if they continue to push south, they're going to have all sorts of time and space.
I feel like they know the entirety of their backs is completely safe. They've gone for this 2-2. Obviously, you're going to have to
who was in Power Grid
and join.
Who was in Power Grid to start the game? I can't remember.
G2.
Yeah, it must have been G2. They're in the G2's stuck where they are. But if I'm Jokers, I want to be scouting Power Grid really hard to see if not only is it empty, but can we get from Power Grid to the center of the zone? Because this could shift out of San Martin, and you want to be on that southern side. But
I'm on to them.
Yeah.
So we figured their route. We figured their rotations out. So Avangard, look at the rotation, what way it shifts, and they immediately go around and to the perfect
weak side.
direction, the weak spot that's gone. So, for example, they were in the north. It went southeast. They went all the way around into the southeast entrance. It takes another shift over to the southwest. They go all the way around and come in at the southwest entrance.
They take a lot of damage, but I think this is the right play. This is how Avangard's been making the top 5 so consistently. Is just their ability to say, I know where most teams should be. Everyone is crashing middle, so if I can't get into the zone in that 3rd or 4th shift, I'm going to come. Well, you can't wait until the 4th shift. You take way too much damage. But I mean, on that 3rd shift, before the 3rd shift completes,
and then
I
can
make my way all the way in. I come on the edge, survey the scene, and really the only time they seem to be weak is in that transition on that swing, whichever way they want to go.
And just look how close to center they can get.
Yeah,
like they can go up to Power Grid. Yeah. They can work their way in. Zuktanam are basically the nearest to center point. But look at those rocks, all the big rocks around the edge.
That's just it. Especially in this circle, you can go into Power Grid, and then you can kind of survey the scene. And see, because Power Grid has that big open field to the north, you can look all around and say, well, most teams are going to be in San Martin. I don't see anyone else where they could be. Not to mention they have that flexibility outside the Power Grid. If there is a team there, they can move around. They can take the fight as necessary. That's the right play. It's just a right play for Avangard.
It does pull out.
Yeah,
that's a slaughter.
Great. Yeah,
that is absolute death zone now.
Buckle in.
This is going to be a slaughter. So Joker's in a fantastic spot. You can see Avangard. They can just go north. So, anyone that keeps talking about, the gifted circles, Avangard have absolutely worked for it. They've rotated for it, and they have played it very well today. It's a very different story when you get onto Erangel. I get it. But they have played Miramar absolutely to perfection, I feel, today.
Choke points aren't a factor in this map. I mean, they are and they aren't. Like in this kind of circle, they can come south. All they have to do now is just wait for San Martin to empty out. Look at the nice move.
I like this move. I like this move. Fenerbahce moving it early. G2, I'm not convinced by your push here.
We'll see.
Fenerbahce trying to send it. There's a decent ditch here if they can get to it, but it looks like they're getting lit up on the way. We can see it in the distance through the smoke, the red smoke. You can see they're trying to send it into the ditch. Think there's too many up on high for them to get there. They are going to make it. This is a spot that many moons ago House of Nobles came out on top from. There's a blast from the past.
Go on.
Season 1. Yeah, but Zukta now getting pressured here. Evil's been picked off. G2 pushing their house, and it's kind of working out for them. Zukta now, they held this compound. What the hell just went wrong? They had the prime position, and they've just got massacred. They have managed to keep the other two across. Why were they split like that? Why were they not, at this point, condensing? They look at the circle, and they see all these teams in San Martin. They all need to come towards us. Let's get a defensive line.
Joker's got a line of sight on the Fenerbahce Esports. They have arrived in the dip right in front of them, and Jokers are getting maybe I was going to think they make it aggressive there.
He's got Senior for support above.
Up top, yeah. I don't know if they're in vehicles still, but really the story is in San Martin, where all these teams are just trying to find space in the streets. And for a team like Penta, they are starting to pick up kills on a relatively weaker team. Break's going on the outside flank. He's going all the way around behind 7.
Soloing them, I believe is the phrase.
Yeah.
Kane's finally going to come around and help him out.
They know he's in the school. Kane's probably calling out to check down the line here and see if they can find him. Braceko looking for a break in the fence. Kravik shooting grenades out to try and defend, but not looking good for 7.
Getting a little crowded down the south as well. The teams that did go for those big rotations, Avangard have kind of got, I think, OHM and Alliance right next to them. A crew also in between them, so getting a little compact down here. But here we're seeing, obviously, the main fight, which is San Martin, the blue, pushing them, forcing them to the edge of the city. And this is the danger.
Brexico's waiting.
Committing to San Martin in Circle 2 is a deadly, deadly sin. Brexico sat waiting for someone to pop out there. There's Greg.
Where's the second one? Yeah. Oh, he might have missed it.
He fluffed it. He's fluffed it bad.
No, Brexico!
He fluffed it so bad. Oh, you hate to see it. And Timber actually, did he steal a kill?
No.
No, 7 managed to get it. Timber's just going to benefit from that, take down Crab, and I don't think Greg's going to get out of this one either. We'll just secure it.
We need a new monitor for Brexico. He probably just punched a hole in his.
Wookie Bookie took Chris down. Wookie Bookie, the solo TSM member that's left. Crew, meanwhile, getting absolutely massacred down the south by Avangard as well. Wookie Bookie on the edge of San Martin. Still trying to squeeze his way out. Penta down to 1 now. We just can't. Double nades, going down to Alliance. Triple, quad, all the nades. Everybody's throwing
red
nades.
Zone, red zone.
Red zone. Is he going to find its home? Look at all those nades bouncing down onto Alliance. They're forced in towards the grey now. Just trying to sit in the smoke. Luckily for them, the nades all went over to the right. As soon as they peeked to the left, Unoctive is sat there with the M14, Mini 14, sorry, sat waiting for them. Michael and Sigsy.
Poor Alliance, man. They're just getting dominated on the high side. Unoctive's got the line of sight. It's only Sigsy. He's got rock in a hard place and a burnt-out Jeep. And there's the molly to finish. It's really just Avangard cleaning them out. Crew is not even being aggressive. Sigsy's standing almost in the fire. And it's already blown up. I think that one's already done. He's on fire. He's blowing himself up. And that is Alliance's day in a nutshell right there.
3 solos in the bottom right-hand corner here. You can see 7 Kaint and Wookie Bookie all sort of sitting around the edge. And you can see the circles pulled away from them in towards Zukta now once again. That compound could get pressured, though. We've seen G2 pushing them once. It does mean Avangard are going to have to come down south as well. Kamaka, meanwhile, takes down Swarker from Isuba. Look at Sans Domicile. They're still inside the circle along with Tornado, Energy Battle, who've been landing the frags right now. Kamka's going to toss that nade across the street. Is he really? Is he a pitcher? What's going on here?
Fenerbahce Esports has got this dip. I was expecting this to actually be more punished by Jokers, but it has not been yet. So they're in the zone. Alpachinki down below, and San Martin still a bit of a cluster. Wookie Bookie is starting a sewing business in his factory here, but he's going to venture out and see if he can find any more kills. Got one onto Chris from Penton. He's going to steal another one and then get immediately finished off by Velen. So TSM will, unfortunately, follow suit with Tornado and go out 15th in the game. After the game, they just won.
The nade was actually perfectly placed, but unfortunately, he'd already been taken down. So 7, the last man standing in there. Did Kaint get taken down? No, he snuck in as well, so he managed to get on the edge. Now, Avangard because they delayed so long at Power Grid, now have the Jokers to deal with to the north, and they're also getting lit up by, I believe it is OHM and yeah, Gamers Lounge, Gamers Legion. Maybe they should change to a lounge. They should change to a lounge. Be a bit more laid back.
I like lounges better than Legions anyway. Seems more relaxed. Xian's got the long line of sight on the Uno. Crew stuck in the open. This is another situation for Crew where they're getting pushed pretty hard and doesn't seem to have a lot of room for defense. Tornado in the zone. They've got a.
Oh.
I was going to say they've got a line of sight, but they might not see Zupa, but they do.
I thought they had a Zupa bush, but it didn't work out.
Did not work out. So for Xian, just trying to pick up that kill. All of a sudden, it feels like Avangar has been in a much worse position than we expected them to be.
Well, they just delayed.
Yeah.
They stayed too long there, and they've allowed their position that they could push up to the north to just be taken away from them by Jokers.
Oh, he moved a little bit. He saw his leg.
Yeah. Saw the little peak there. Tornado basically holding this this compound, this 4-story, right?
It's a good one. I mean, it's like the moat. It's like,
Uh-oh.
You're in trouble. There's another one down, so very quickly we're down to 12 teams, and Avangar's only got a guardrail to save them currently. I'm not sure what kind of utility they have. A couple of dips to use, but they also have got a line on the OHN. This is a weird fight to start for Avangar. They're going to get punished at distance if they're not careful. Not a lot of cover.
Yeah, and they can get spotted underneath their guardrail. They feel they're safer than they really are. The Joker's been drawn into the fire, and it will be OHM that will steal away the kills. Avangar go down in 12th, so great start for them. 2 chicken dinners at the start of the day, but it's kind of gone downhill from there. And he felt they rotated themselves so well. Kane trying to dash himself around. Does he get himself safe? He does. Now he tries to make another push, and, well, Hamster finds him from up on high.
Looking good here for Gamers Legion. They're not quite in the zone, but they're getting lots of kills, and Tornado is just threshing once again in this great they seem to really excel when they have the better positioning, and I mean, that's not a hard statement to make in PUBG, but for Tornado, we've seen other teams with good positioning botch it. You know, Avangar came in on this.
Kills. Often you'll see a team that has the spot,
they don't do anything.
Peak, not really get the frags out of it.
Yeah, so Tornado's been doing very good. They will have one knock-on on a comp up, but again, San Martin is definitely all the way out of the zone now, and it's going to be a situation where if Tornado can manage this area, they should come out with a ton of kills, and if they can keep 4 strong, I'd be very impressed. Zen's got a great spot as well.
They do,
and
that's been really the main difference. G2 still don't need to move, so they're sitting comfortable in their spot. They took off the former member of Zuktanam. Gamers Legion are inside. OHM just creeping around as well. So OHM are going to be engaging with the Jokers very soon. We can see Fenerbahce actually making the move over the road here, but they're getting caught out by Zuktanam as they pass by that wide open spot. OHM caught out in the back there as Gamers Legion take a little peek over, and now they're lighting up the Jokers out in the fields as we look at Melman just running around this building.
Tornado is just going ham from this 4-story, and Fenerbahce is just, I think, either out of utility or unable to deal with the withering fire coming out. 7, again, this is the San Martin push. This is crazy.
7 goes down, but straight behind him is Stan's Domicile as they get flushed out by Tornado Energy Battle, continuing on their way. Fenerbahce also picked off in the roadside by Zuktanam there. This is going to be a confidence booster for Zuktanam. They've had a torrid first part of this tournament, but to end on a high here in the final game, albeit gifted the circle, doesn't matter. Do what you can with it.
Do what you can with it, exactly. And that, I mean, circle luck is a thing, but it's how you manage it. And really for Zoktanam, so far they've been reaching out with that sniper rifle, doing a lot of damage, trying to get as much kills as possible, or as many kills as possible as they try and pad that really anemic score that they've had so far. So for Tornado, they're going to run out of have to run out of this compound pretty soon. As you can see, the zone is already arriving.
That timing on looking away, just as they moved and showed themselves. But the circle shifts, and it forces over to Zuktanam's compound, the only compound remaining, which does mean they're going to have Tornado Energy Battle and G2 both pushing on the back doors of their compound, which they need to be aware of. Aeki, at the moment, seems to be the only one there, but doesn't really have an eye on it.
That's one grenade away from disaster right there for Gamers Legion, but always have to be cautious on who's pushing up from behind you. So for Jokers, they have actually a pretty decent amount of control on their western side of the play zone, but they're going to have to shift a little bit south. Tornado continuing to pick up kills.
He's dead. Stop shooting him.
Don't feed a fed horse, as they say.
Oh, God. Oh, indeed, indeed. Tornado Oh, and Heki's found Jokers as well.
Oh, out of the car.
Tried to send it, and that just didn't work out for him. The question is, will there be enough smoke to follow him in there? Heki's keeping his eye very much aware of Tornado. I feel G2 could play spoiler for
Jokers needs utility. Jokers need to get some utility out here if they want to be moving down this way. They have a lot of unfinished business on this side of the zone. They had a decent position, decent control as well, but now they've let Gamers Legion out of the bag. And Gamers Legion, without using utility of their own, are being allowed to cross openly without any pressure from anywhere else. Here comes the grenade, and they are just going right at Jokers and are getting punished as they do so.
Outplays just nailed it to get rid of that. Not only shot him, but finished him off. OHM just pop up there. Melman, meanwhile, will finish off the rest of... actually, Dream for You still back there. OHM will go down in 8th place because of that. Bjorn goes down. G2 getting pressured. We knew this would happen sooner or later. Zuktat Nam, they did get pressures, but Aeki has dealt with it so well. And G2 getting absolutely in the mince of there. Wacko, the last man standing for them. Now Tornado trying to make that push. And they're actually getting caught out by Dream for You there. Comport gets taken down. This is buying Zuktat Nam the time. Look at Tornado. They're struggling to get over the road. They're going to get Dream for You down. That's going to be Alpachinki down in 7th place. But Zuktat Nam still sitting strong. Look at Wacko. Absolutely nothing left. Zuktat Nam could force him down. He will. He gets Camco and X team down. Tornado will go down 6th place. And Zuktat Nam benefiting from more kills from this one. Meanwhile, the Jokers trading blows with Gamers Legion. And Zuktat Nam being gifted the game right now.
How many kills has G2 got from this central position that they had? I know they were doing okay earlier, but with I mean, there's no urgency with these reses. And Wacko is just kind of he's just sitting there, not healing. I'm not sure if he's got any meds, but he's going to start the reses now. And this kind of conservative behavior. They do have 3 kills. I think they could have got both reses here if they managed this time a little bit better, but they still might be able to.
Yeah, I think he just about can. He was just a little bit cautious. You can see he's got single first aid there, just in case he needs it. Mackendorf's a long way out. The circle's very much gone the way of Zuktat Nam again. And a confidence boost for both these teams. Zuktat Nam and G2 both down the bottom of the table, of course, into the final 5 now. G2 did have a good finish in game number 3, but I think that was about 4th place there as well. So Zonk still not dealt with for Fenerbahce, by the way. Fenerbahce, a team that was in that ditch for a long time.
OHN, the last member, did a lot of damage to Jokers. He got all the way behind him. If it wasn't for Senya being able to clutch that 1v1 and low health, they would be out of this game.
So smokes from the Jokers. They're getting ready to move. Zyphon tosses that molly to Ek. He didn't quite catch him out there. He's looking at the fire spread and thinking, hello.
Hey, I don't
Where
want
did
to
that come from?
I don't want to be on fire.
8 kills and counting for them. Oh, Jokers. Senya just caught in, gets inside the smoke. Mackendorf taking the shots. That's going to draw a lot of attention his way. As Kemper sees him, Kemper should be able to take him down. Mackendorf's done and dusted. Gamer Legion going down in 5th place. It's actually Zuktat Nam that stole the kill away from him. Joker's also getting down. Senya, and now Kemper, the last man standing for him, as Zonk from Fenerbahce continues to crawl.
Erki's been doing really good work with that sniper rifle. We've seen him in the kill feed over and over again. Not a ton of kills individually, but I mean, they've been doing so good. Now G2's running into Zen. This is Zuktat Nam. This is now their time to shine.
Ayaki did very well at keeping them at bay at hand's length. Now Vasquez come across to try and help out. Don't want to be using the Kar 98 this round. Kudatastic also getting a peek, so Ayaki definitely calling out. They're in my building, they're in my building. Downstairs, looking a peek. He's going to try and join his team, and wisely does. Nicely worked there. Really well played by Zuktat Nam to try and help him bail out there.
They're going to leave him in the dust. I mean, they've now got the dominant position on the exterior for G2, and they're going to take down Velen. Now they're going to leave him inside this building.
They got to push Wacko.
They came into the building to try and push, but then G2 didn't do anything, so now they just have to wait for him to come out.
Oh, Wacko gets Kudatastic down. Can he flush it? No, he can't. Eki will come in. They should be able to get the revive off quick enough as well. Jokers get Senya back up on his feet, and then maybe we're going to try and take central point, but Fenerbahce's Zonk pops up and sprays down Kemba, catches him off guard just as Senya was trying to heal himself up. That nade will finish him. Oh, he bounced off his ass! Did that come off the pan?
No, he bounced off the side of his head.
Back, I think,
he bounced off the side of his head, and he won't even get the. Well, he did get the kill for it, but wow.
Well, Zuktat Nam, of course, will take the chicken dinner. They trade blows back and forth between themselves. They do, of course, get the circle, but they chose to go to the edge of San Martin, and it benefited them. I would say they should not have lost people the way they did. He should have rejoined his team as we saw the circle shift, but it doesn't matter. You need the luck to go your way. A chicken dinner, and I think about 12 kills, so maybe, what have they got? 4, 9, okay, 13 kills, so nicely done there from Zuktat Nam. We saw a lot of teams falling by the wayside as well. A lot of the teams that were at the top there. Think of Avangard. They had great positioning and didn't benefit from it. Look where the Jokers came, second place.
Yeah.
That's where Avangard should have carried on to the north and taken.
I think if Avangard had just been a little bit more aggressive with the Jokers on the southern side, not to mention the fact, I mean, Zogton Nam, just to cover them since they did win the round, they had the massive benefit of a circle, or sorry, the compound in the circle throughout the entire game. But I want to give a shout out to Eriki, who with the Car 98 got a lot of downs, did a lot of damage, and opened up a lot of opportunities for his team to capitalize on kills and also cripple teams moving around them. We saw him getting car knocks. We saw him getting just running headshots. A lot of great sniping happening there. Fenerbahce, they got third place, but on the back of essentially some snake plays. And they even managed to bounce a grenade off a guy's head at the end of the game for style points, I guess. But for that whole game, it was really focused on San Martin, and Zogton Nam were the best at managing that internal compound. Also, kudos to Tornado, who did very well internally as well. Couldn't quite translate that into another victory, but they did get a lot of kills, very active in there.
And that's the danger, right? Once you're stuck in San Martin, to get over those open road points, it's so hard.
Yep.
I mean, it's funny that we obviously were highlighting G2 and Zogton Nam. They were the lowest damage dealers coming into this one. Definitely going to pad their stats out a fair amount this time. I know they were very low on the kill scores as well. So, but going back to Aiki, I think he basically won them that game for them, because G2 were three-man pushing him, peeked out the side, spray down, thank you very much, 2 knocks. They were lucky to, G2 were lucky to get the revives in all honesty, because he just completely stopped them as they turned, because that could have turned badly in there against them. G2 could have flushed out the house, came through, and suddenly wiped them out, and suddenly G2 steal the game from their feet.
Well, I mean, G2, I think their biggest mistake was actually pushing into that house and then stopping.
Yeah.
Because that just allowed Zogton Nam to jump out the balcony, come out to the wall. They did trade. I mean, Wacko made a good effort of it and tried to take him down, but they just had no position to move. And that was the game almost essentially in the bag for Zogton Nam.
Well, they have performed so well online. They've finally done it here offline. Let's hear from Zogton Nam.